Hello and welcome to the Future of Fitness panel. We were a little delayed with some fun and games on the technology side. We apologize for that, but we're glad to have you here for the Future of Fitness panel. We'll be talking about how fitness is going to evolve and the digital nature of fitness today and what it's going to look like in the future. Excited to be here with two of our guests. We're working to try to get our third guest in here. I'm Brian Zwerner. I run a group called Beyond the Game Network. We're a venture group of athletes based here in Atlanta. We've made 13 investments in seed to Series A startups, about half of those in fitness, health, and wellness. I'm going to let my esteemed panelists introduce themselves, starting with Umama Kibria, the founder of SportsTech. Umama, take it away.
Hey guys, thank you so much for joining in today. I'm Umama, the co-founder and CEO of SportsTech, and my passion is for connecting people through fitness. I've learned when people find a fitness routine that they can actually commit to, they transform into game-changing leaders that disrupt the world. That's why I found out that people actually have a hard time committing to fitness. That's why we developed SportsTech, which is a platform that is a sports and fitness team matching platform powered by our marketplace. We help people be active and stay accountable and help gyms get trusted, reoccurring revenue from our groups.
Well, Mama, thanks for joining us today. And just by way of disclosure, Beyond the Game Network is a happy and proud investor in SportsTech. We work with Umama and her team frequently. Let's hear a little bit from Matt Averyhart about Onsite. Matt.
Hi, everyone. I'm Matt Averyhart, founder and CEO of Onsite Fitness out of Chattanooga, Tennessee. We're a tech-enabled personal training studio geared for the everyday person. We opened our company 5 years ago, and we are the #1 recommended personal studio for doctors and physicians. We get direct referrals from doctors, physical therapists, and chiropractors, and then train with clients for about 3 to 6 months to help them build exercise confidence and exercise independence so they can live a lifelong journey of health and fitness.
I love that everyone is here about helping people have lifelong journeys of health and fitness. Our third panelist, Ty McMath from Torch Fitness and Nutrition, will hopefully be joining us here shortly. And if he does, he will tell you a little bit more about what he does. But let's kind of jump in here, Umama and Matt. What's going on today in the current state of workouts from home? What kind of equipment are people using? How are they consuming workout content? We've all been thrown into this post-COVID world. What are people doing to work out today and get the best benefits out of their workouts?
Yeah, I'd love to kick it off and just say, wow, we have gotten more active in the last 7 months than we have in decades. And it is truly remarkable. The research has actually shown that people become 70% more active now that they realize there's just so many free activities around them. Doing a home workout, following an Instagram live, getting outside, playing sports. So many of this has risen up along with connected fitness, which has been a huge category that's made a lot of impact. I personally have seen a lot of investment and opportunities in these kind of multi-dimensional equipment pieces, right? Like you have your workout bands, you have a kettlebell that also doubles as a dumbbell. And truly, I believe that this is going back to the root of fitness, which is helping people just be active in whatever way fits into their schedules.
Yeah, and to piggyback onto that, I think the name of the game is physical activity, right? So people have become, sort of separated from their physical gyms and studios that they're used to. Now they're working at home with Pelotons, their Nordic tracks, their rowers, all of the wonderful equipment that they have at home. But the biggest difference is that people are now more physically active at home doing low impact things. And so those individuals that are used to being guided by a passionate instructor at Orange Theory, now they're at home taking walks with their family, right? And they're doing so more often. I've heard reports from our clients who aren't comfortable coming back to the studio yet, but they're starting to adopt some of the things that they learned and some of the habits that they learned from those passionate and inspirational teachers, and they're starting to implement them at home, right? And in some cases, they're becoming sort of the fitness influencers of their families. So to answer your question more directly, from what I'm hearing, they're using the equipment that they've had at home that's been collecting dust for years, that Bowflex, that they finally figured out how to put together. And they're taking advantage of that equipment. But what's really special is that they're actually just moving more. They're getting outside more, right? Even if it's only in the backyard, and doing those activities with their kids and family members.
Do people have the equipment that they need to get a good workout in from home? Do they have space within their home or their apartment to find a way to work out? Is that what you're hearing from people in the fitness space?
Yeah, I mean, from what I'm hearing, personal trainers, exercise physiologists know all you really need is space and knowledge, right? A good body weight workout can go a long way. And I think a lot of people are finding that out through necessity, right? Maybe not having the additional income to be able to buy equipment, which is at a premium. Very hard to get at home.
Oh my God.
Right now. Any resellers are doing.
I've been trying to buy some extra dumbbells to fill in some missing holes in my home gym, and I've been shut out for 8 months on those.
Right. And so I think out of that, sort of shortage of supply, individuals have had to learn how to do more body weight workout and things of that nature. But to answer your question, I don't think it's ever been a shortage of space for equipment. Just sort of a shortage of imagination and education and knowledge.
Yeah, just to piggyback off that, it does come down to knowledge. And look, we have the internet that has all this information. We have Instagrammers always posting these workouts, but it was really that push to say like, hey, this is your only option. So let's go ahead and get started. So compared with our putting together both the space and the knowledge has pushed us forward. But I think what's really come out of this is innovation, right? Like we're looking at a dumbbell right now and I could do a curl, right? Like I'm doing more research now on tempo training and listening in on my body and what I need on that day. Because typically, we've gotten into this routine of wake up, go to the gym, go to work. But now it's like, wake up. Okay, maybe I just need to meditate. Maybe I need to breathe, or maybe I just need to go for a walk. So I think we've just made a shift in just that self-awareness piece, which is the most crucial aspect of making a commitment to fitness.
I've been trying those 12-ounce curls since college. They haven't really helped with my arm definition.
Tempo training, it works for you though. But I think Brian, your example, like Brian has told me a lot about his at-home gym and how he kind of has dumbbells all over the place. But then his wife says that, this is the only place you can work out, right? And I live on the 3rd floor. So I am typically doing like plyometric exercises, which I can't really do here. But I think what Ty's company does really well, which is helping create these amazing gyms in apartment complexes. And that has been the biggest rise that I've seen, which is just these apartment communities or housing communities really taking a big scoop into just wellness communities.
Matt, how are people from the gyms that you guys worked with and are part of at onsite, are they asking for something different so that they can work out at home? Do they want a new type of content? What are they asking for?
Yeah, well, the interesting thing is that, with us being forced to be home, we've become innovative. We've learned bodyweight workouts. We've learned more about exercising, but that still doesn't scratch the itch of the community piece, right? And so what most people are asking for now, I've learned how to work out. I've been disciplined, but I want a way to be able to connect, right? I still want a way to feel like I'm a part of something bigger. So a lot of our most recent requests that we've been hearing to us and to some of my colleagues across the country is, all right, how do we solve this issue of connectivity and the community piece that's still missing, right? Individuals are working out at home. Individuals are working out outside more, but with less classes, right? And of course, the big box gyms that, a lot of us love to go to, where we maybe interact with the most people that we do out of our full day, right? With those connectivity pieces gone, how do we address that currently?
Well, Mom, I think Matt set it up perfectly for you. Your entire company, SweatPack, is about creating community around fitness. What are you doing, and what are some of the other leaders out there like Peloton and others doing to create community remotely?
Look, and thank you for setting that up, Matt. But the inevitable with fitness is that it serves both the sweating and the social component so many of us look forward to. Sometimes that is the only interaction we get in a day. So what we specifically did with SweatPack, SweatPack's goal is to connect people onto teams, whether it's sports leagues or a yoga team or a bar team, CrossFit, whatever, but getting that commitment once a week to show up in person and socialize. And when COVID hit, we really had to go back to our main purpose, which was this connectivity issue of how do we still solve to help people be active and stay connected. So we initially launched our SweatPack Olympics because people love a little competition. They love to be able to meet new people and stay engaged on a weekly basis or daily basis on topics more than just fitness related. People need that connection and that conversation piece to keep them going, to let them know that their existence matters and their activity matters too. So we actually doubled in growth in revenue and memberships during this time because so many people were searching for that weekly commitment. Now, as far as like what Peloton, Tonal, all of them are doing, they realize community is the growth hacking piece of any business to scale. It's how we refer people. It's how we get them engaged and be able to make sure they continue to grow. And I think the leaderboard component is really important to that. The Facebook groups, the in-person meetups and showcases. But what really is missing in the industry right now is that scary C word, which is commitment. And showing up on a weekly basis to Matt's studio, right? But knowing that I have the complementary piece online as well.
Yeah. And to take that rabbit hole even further, I think a large piece that's missing is we're talking about what the future would look like, right? And I don't want to jump too far ahead, Brian. I know we have a question teed up for that. But, that commitment and the people who weren't working out before COVID, we don't have strong indication that they're working out now. Right. So we have to figure out how to tap into that underserved population. Right. And, we would hope that the Pelotons and the Mirrors, Lulu's acquisition of Mirror would be able to, attract more individuals into the active and sweaty lifestyle. But currently we're not seeing that. We're seeing that the same populations that were active before COVID have found a new way to be active during. Right. Which takes the story away from, all right, but how are we serving the underserved population of people who don't move as much?
And who need it more, right? Like the ones that are affected by diabetes and obesity.
Well, Matt, your group runs on-site fitness facilities, and obviously, Umama, you've worked out in hundreds of them for many years. I mean, decades, really. These facilities haven't changed a whole lot, and really haven't been terribly quick to adopt new technology in the facilities. What was changing there before COVID, and where are they looking now as they look forward to try to bring some of these digital fitness products into the gyms?
Yeah. So, one of the most remarkable advancements in the physical fitness world of studios was Orange Theory, right? They introduced a single metric, heart rate, and everyone went absolutely crazy. Splat points became the thing. And now people know how their heart rate correlates to better longevity and better health, right? So, what we're saying is that people are now starting to see the correlation between, data that they have on their Fitbits, data that they have on their Apple Watches, and how that affects their health, right? So fitness, I think, is becoming more of a health thing than a hobby thing. And I like to lift heavy weights, so that's why I do it. I think we have more insight on ourselves and what we need in order to be healthy. And I think what physical fitness studios and gyms need to be able to do is recognize that data is important, right? And figure out how they can take the information that their clientele already knows about themselves and make it relevant for how they can help them in their physical spaces.
Yeah. And does that mean the people bringing in those devices like an Apple Watch or a Fitbit or their own heart rate monitors, or are the gyms going to have to start to supply this equipment directly as part of their membership and as an amenity effectively?
Yeah. So, I can speak personally. So our take on it from OnSite is that most of our clients have these wearables, whether it's a Whoop, whether it's, a Garmin, a Apple Watch, or a Fitbit, they're collecting this data already. But there's this huge disconnect from the data that they have. And then when they go into the gym, it's like, okay, other than steps, how do these things connect, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to be really important for studios, Orange Theory, and everyone else to continue to figure out how their services directly impact that data that the clients have on their wrists.
Yeah, and just to expand on the data piece, I mean, we need to look at having omni channels, right? It's not enough to just have the in-person studio experience. People are going to want and have on-demand workouts as well, but then they're also going to want to track their data, their heart rate, their metrics, and there is a big demand on that side. But also, how do we convert these social media live features and monetize on that too? So I think there's these 4 different channels that gyms, studios, and trainers are looking at now, but we have to provide them the technology. As much as I'd love to say fitness is so advanced, the reason Peloton and companies like this got so far ahead is because people were ignoring fitness. They were like, oh, this is an age-old category. There's no innovating in here. But there's so much innovation left, right? The reason Apple is so curious and so headstrong about getting into health is because it is the second highest revenue industry, right? So we have to look at this and look at how can we as tech startups and tech companies provide these platforms that solve these problems for these studios. I think Techno Gym is one piece of equipment that kind of led that movement of equipment and digital data and connecting it back to the gym retention. But how can we expand that across all those omni-channel reserves?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, sorry, go ahead, Brian.
No, you're good. Keep going.
I think it's important to know that, just as Mama was saying, the fitness industry is primed for innovation right now. Mm-hmm. It's waiting for, innovative engineers, innovative industrial and designers to really look at solving these really, really large scale problems. And I'm excited for what happens, over the next 18 months.
Yeah, in my seat as a venture capital investor, I've seen all kinds of interesting innovations that people are working on, from sensors embedded in clothing to sensors that'll go into the equipment to track reps, to video analysis of body movement, to work on your form and also track your reps. Yeah. Do you think these kinds of things are coming, or is this 5 to 10 years out?
No, these things are here. Tonal absolutely blew me away. I think it is a fantastic product. Obviously on-site studios are physical spaces that people need to go to, but I would love to have a Tonal, a device in our studios that is capable of doing what Tonal can do at home. I believe in this past year, at-home fitness and the products that they have actually taken a leap past what gyms offer as far as innovation and advancement. With Tonal, Tempo is another one. Really, really great products that are using tech in a really interesting way that is bounds ahead of what you would see in a Gold's Gym.
Well, actually, now that you mentioned Gold's Gym, I challenge you on that, because Gold's Gym actually enacted a whole studio that has this technology embedded in both the equipment and carries on to the on-demand home piece. Now, this is a recent innovation that they just enacted, but that's where I see these big box gyms trending towards, right? Like Equinox, they were already kind of doing it, and they have that high-end clientele and that price point to adopt the equipment. But ultimately, it comes down to how do we keep them consistent with it and coming back, or offering the product to buy, which is what SoulCycle and companies like that ultimately had to end up doing.
Absolutely.
There's been a lot of debate on what the world post-COVID is going to look like for workouts. I mean, where do you both shake out on this? Will people be flocking back to gyms as soon as it's safe to do so? Are they going to keep working out from home? Will it be a long-term hybrid model? What does that future look like as people try to blend at home and at gym workouts going forward?
Yeah, I believe connected fitness is the future, and we need to learn how to create complementary products and services that will speak to their entire wellness ecosystem, their mental, physical, and social well-being. So I believe connected fitness will be here to stay, but they're going to be looking for that community feature, right? And that's where Sweatpack comes right in, where we know, hey, go do your Peloton 3 times a week, but join a kickball team once a week with us, or yoga once a week. That's complimentary. And the other trend is non-memberships. People don't want to be locked in anymore, right? How can we offer these mini flexible memberships that gives them both the variety, but also the consistency that they need to show up and actually use it, right? We're spending $1.8 billion on unused gym memberships. And those people are going to come over to Connected Fitness. But also the biggest market that we're not talking about is these fitness influencers. Just influencer marketing in general is a $9 billion industry. Check the facts on that, but definitely a huge industry. And, I work with a lot of trainers and help develop apps for them and PDFs, and they get a lot of clients, but we're not looking at what is it that they're doing and what services that they need and how can our services complement what they're doing. Playbook is one that is really worked with these big influencers, and I believe that is a big market we need to look into and figure out how we can work with them.
Yeah, Matt, what do you think? How people blend content that they can use from home with the gym when it's safe to go back?
I think, the future of fitness will be heavily married with technology. I think smart fitness is the future. And when I say smart fitness, people aren't going to do things that they don't know the outcomes for. You're not going to do 200 crunches in hopes that you'll get a six-pack. Technology will be able to tell you that you need to do exactly 768 crunches to get the outcome that you want, right? And people aren't going to waste their times doing things that they just don't need to. So I believe technology will help make fitness a smarter activity and pursuit. But I also agree that, business models, the membership model, I think is really going to go extinct. People are going to pay for the services when they need it, when they use it, right? And I think that will be a huge change that we see as far as a lot of gyms, large gyms and small, right? The membership model is definitely going to have to change. Those are sort of the large differences that I see in the future.
I mean, a company like Peloton has built a massive lead on the marketplace. They're, selling the devices, getting people to sign up, almost 1 million subscribers now across their products. Announcement just yesterday of a partnership with Beyonce to roll out music-themed workouts. Apple has made a teaser announcement with really no details behind it about Apple Fitness. Their kind of fitness classes on your phone. Maybe one day that'll be a game changer. Who's going to lead this field? Is Peloton's lead insurmountable? Or can people catch them? Is Apple a force to be reckoned with? What do you think? Who do you think leads the top of the market here?
I think Peloton will continue to do a fantastic job, especially with the resources that they have now. I think that they'll continue to grow in smart ways and absolutely own the content side. I think they'll become a juggernaut, like a Netflix. But I think who's really going to win out, and I think what Apple's long-term play is figuring out how we solve the entire global population issue of inactivity, the overall obesity issue, right? I believe that's Apple's look, and what they're testing in Singapore and what they're testing in other parts of the world is that how can they incentivize an entire city or an entire country to move more, right? So I think the big winner is going to be the ones who can solve that problem. How do we get the 70+% of the global population who's not as active to be more active?
Yeah, and totally agree with that. And to Apple's play, they're an ecosystem builder, right? They have the hardware, they have the technology, and they have the loyal customers. And really, for any products to come in, they need to figure out how to be complementary to that or build out their own ecosystems, which is exactly what Peloton did as well, right? They own the content, they own the hardware, they have clothing, their brand is viral. But something to note is take a look at how their stocks did yesterday, right? They saw a 25% dip as soon as Pfizer released a drug that might be 90% effective for COVID. So it's, we're skewing still back to people are going to want this in-person experience, and whoever can kind of figure out how to play that in is going to win. And I believe creating things that work with the Apple Watch is where you're going to see the biggest playmakers.
Yeah, Apple's got kind of a sneaky already place in the fitness world because so many apps that run through the Apple App Store are paying the 30% Apple tax. Apps that are huge like Fitbod, Future, the list goes on and on of apps that have been developed through the App Store and are already paying that tax for, time Apple Watch. Pretty good. What do you think acquisition? Does that give them a seat at the table? Does Amazon have to make a move into the space as well?
Sorry, can you repeat that question? You went out on me for a second.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. Does Google have a seat at this table long term with their acquisition of Fitbit? Does Amazon, who's been rumored to be looking at, fitness tracking, have a play here? What about some of the other big players that have made big commitments and have inroads?
Yeah, I think what the really big players are most interested in is the data, right? That data is so important, and they're looking at how to get access to more and more of it. I'm not sure exactly what their plays will be as far as creating content and creating products and services for the industry, but any player that can help them get more data will be at a great advantage.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I see Amazon on the come up with that data, right? They want to turn that back and sell more products. I think ultimately it comes down to how are these big companies going to acquire these small companies like who is it that like Fitbod, I'm blanking on the names right now, but still, just the fact that what data that they have and what's their community, how viral can they go, and how can they scale up the other products and services that they already have.
Yeah, you talk about Peloton stock.
Oh no, your mic isn't working.
Oh, can't hear me? No?
I can hear you, Brian.
Okay. Yeah, Peloton.
Yeah, now you're good.
Peloton stock took a hit a couple of weeks ago. There was a fitness bike at home called the Prime Bike that went live on Amazon for about an hour. People thought it was Amazon moving into the at-home fitness space with their own bike. It turned out it was a third party, completely unrelated, and just a total scam of the Amazon Prime name. But for just a short moment, the Peloton stock just took a pretty good hit. It bounced back once Amazon made it very clear that was not their product.
Yeah, and I mean, what that tells me is that they're competing over a set amount of market, right? When there is this, again, I sound like a broken record, but there's this huge unaddressed market, right? That can make their pool even bigger, right? And so again, the group that can address that currently unaddressed market will have a huge advantage.
Without breaking on Peloton's patents, because then you'll go out of business.
Correct.
You talked a little bit earlier, Mom, about fitness influencers and the workout programs and things that they're creating. What types of workouts that are coming from content providers other than Peloton and their bike and treadmill workouts? What other ones are working well from home? Is it about the hardware or is it about the content creator that's making those work?
Yeah, I think it's the experience, right? The full customer journey and how the influencer or the app or technology is following them through to make it sticky. One that I personally love is Volt Athletics. They use this Cortex AI to help calibrate your workouts, figure out your rep schemes, how to progress. And they have a huge content database and they're partnered with Gatorade. So really, I think companies like this that understand that I know exactly who my audience is and I'm going to put everything in this user experience to continue to iterate on that. Things like Fitbod, I believe, kind of fits the same thing, but we're just going to have to get super niche on who we're targeting. And I think the biggest untapped market is the one that Matt is talking about, which is these people that are somewhat interested in getting active, but they don't have the follow through, the steps, the accountability. And that's really where SweatPack is targeting our initial audience.
Yeah, Matt, I mean, Apple's made it very clear they're much more interested in the $100 billion health market than the workout market. You deal with people more in that space that are trying to work out for health purposes.
Right.
What's going to change that for the large percentage of Americans who just don't want to work out in the current at us.
What we found over the past 5 years at Onsite is, as we focused on that population, what we found is most people do want to work out. They just don't know what to do, and they don't feel that any current product fits them well. A lot of times across the country, gym owners will hear the same thing. Oh, okay. They feel as though they need to work out in order to even go to your gym, right? That's saying something. That's saying that there needs to be sort of a first step, that a large part of the population feels like they need a first step before they can even step into an Orange Theory, right? And so
that place is intimidating to me. I don't know that I want to step into an Orange Theory.
Yeah, I don't really like it.
But again, that's one of the best branded studios out there, and it's one of the more comforting places where you can go. Much more comfortable from a marketing standpoint than stepping into a Gold's Gym, right? Which is very intimidating for a lot of the people that we work with. But the biggest setback for them right now is that they don't know what to do, right? And they don't connect with any products that are currently out there. And their goal is different, right? Their goal is not to look a certain way, it's to feel a certain way, or it's or their doctor to be able to say, hey, your cholesterol's down, your blood pressure's down, right? And so those are themes and concepts that aren't being communicated, when they go looking for a place to work out currently.
Well, we're going to wrap this up as we're getting towards the top of the hour here. We'll start with you, Mama. Just a quick, finishing word on SweatPack. You've told a lot of people about SweatPack, but where do they find you and find your company?
Yeah, absolutely, guys. If you guys are looking to make that first step into fitness, stay active and stay accountable with the team, definitely check us out on Instagram, Team SweatPack. We have all new SweatPacks releasing. I saw a question on here about if we're doing virtual SweatPacks, and absolutely. We've got yoga ones already set where you meet up once a week with your team virtually, but then we also have our in-person ones. So definitely look forward to that. We're all over the U.S. now. So hop on in.
Matt, where can the viewers find info on Onsite?
Hey, we have our Instagram, Onsite Fitness. You can also go to our website, it's onsitefitness.com, learn about personal training led by exercise physiologists with a big, deep science background.
And we're sorry we missed out on our final panelist today, Ty McMath. You can find information about their group at torchfitandnutrition.com. Torch provides on-site training opportunities in multifamily housing and apartment complexes and offices all around the country. They're growing like crazy, and we'll try to find an opportunity for Ty to get involved at another time. We want to thank the folks at Comcast and the folks at Techstars for putting this on. And that is it for our panel on the future of fitness. It's definitely digital, and we hope you enjoyed it. Thank you very much.
Thanks, guys.